I want to show you a little tip that will allow you to potentially cut down on waste and improve quality of prints with a little cutting tip that's within your slicer. You don't have to do anything extra, but it could hopefully help you out a little bit. So with this model, this is another soap holder. I do a lot of soap holders. I have my mom, my wife, my mother-in-law, so they like soap holders. It is what it is. So this is another model from Maker World. Again, I'll put it in the description, the creator and then the model name. It's a cool model. It's very well done. It's nice colors. But even with a low infill, and again, another tip, the grid infill I've never had good luck with. I always use gyroid or adaptive cubic or even a crosshatch. The grid infill, I've had 3 nozzles break on me now. It's never gone well. So for something like a soap holder, I normally do 7%, somewhere in there, and then gyroid infill, and then two walls is good. You could go up to 3, but if it's just something personal, 2 walls is more than enough. And then you have to have supports on, because you have this top layer up here, and it's too long of an overhang to try to do mid-air. So when you go to print this and slice it, you're going to have a bunch of supports within here, and you'll see how long it takes, and then the amount of waste from the supports as well. The purge and color isn't that bad because it's really only the top layer, so honestly it's not that big of a deal. So as you can see, all the supports are inside of there, so that's a lot of waste. And then a lot of times too, and I'll show you the difference because I printed 2 of these, one like this and one the second way that I'm going to do it. What can end up happening, and what did happen on my first one, is these supports ended up failing in the middle of the print. So this top layer ended up a little bit shaky, and it still came out, but this red portion wasn't as good as it could have been. So what ends up happening is you end up wasting, almost, just over 27 grams of filament in supports alone, right? And it's 7.5 hours of printing, or, almost 7.5 hours of actual print time, right? Now I'm going to show you a different way that you could print this that should make this go by a lot quicker and really improve the quality of that top layer without having to worry if those supports are going to hold, and will improve the finish.
How to cut your model for improved prints.
Portion, we're going to use this section called cut. So we're going to cut the model. Now what that's going to allow us to do is cut the model at any point we want. We can cut along the Y or the X or even the Z, but in this case we are going to cut right here. And what I like to do for these soap holders, because I don't like to print in mid-air because I like to have a nice finish, is I'm going to take this yellow square and I'm just going to move it 1 click until that turns aqua. So as soon as that turns aqua, I know I'm good. I'm not going to touch it again because that means that whole top layer is now solid. And then right here is going to be very important. So add connector. So we're going to click add connectors. That's going to allow us to align the top faceplate with the bottom body piece. So right here, this is how we're going to snap this together or align it together. And in this case, we can do something very simple. Circle and then prism. So the depth, I already measured. I can show you how to do that too, but I already measured the top faceplate. 3 millimeters is perfect, so we can do our depth at 3 millimeters. That's no problem. And then the size, I would make it a little bit wider than this 2.5. I would go 5. That way it just gives it a little bit of something extra to grab onto. And I like to place 3 of them. And just pick like a good portion of the body to add it to. And this is the tolerance. So it'll be, it'll give it an extra 0.1 millimeters of tolerance around the connector. You could change that as well to 0.2 if your printer isn't as dialed in. Mine is pretty good. So the 0.1 works perfectly. If you want an even tighter fit, you could change it to 0. I wouldn't recommend that. I mean, maybe 0.05 is probably as tight as I'd be willing to go. You may have to use a rubber hammer or something like that, but I would probably not go less than that. 0.1 is probably the sweet spot, and that should give you a perfect fit. After that, you're going to hit confirm connectors. And then right here, I would put keep orientation, not place on cut. Just keep orientation on both. And then you can zoom out a little. We'll hit perform cut. And then it will keep them together. All right, which is fine. Click on your bed. And now they are separated. Okay. So the only downside is that it has uncolored the model, which is fine. We can go right into here and recolor the model. So we're going to hit this color painting icon right here. And the easiest way to do this fill icon, we're going to click on that. And I know that the outline was black. We're going to do this edge detection. I'm going to click this outline. Then I'm going to go to the number 3, the wings, and then number 4 for the heart. So this was an easy one to color, and then we're done. Paint over. And then now when we slice it, and we'll slice both plates. There's only going to be one support. So now the support is only 2 grams of filament. The body is only going to take almost 3.5 hours. The face takes 1 hour and 48 minutes. So what is that? 5 hours and 15 minutes? My math is probably not good right now. Sorry, guys. But look, support 0.6 grams. I mean, we're very minimal. And then this is the bottom side. So these are going to be your plugs here. So once it's done printing, you can put a little glue inside the plugs right there and just glue your face onto there. And then I will show you what each of those look like once they're done. Okay. All right. So to show you guys the difference between printing it solid one piece and the supports failing and cutting it, so you can see all of this right here. So the inside, that's from the supports failing and then sticking sideways. So they started to stick sideways to the top of the print. And now when it started to finish, it was all uneven up here. And this didn't turn out the greatest. It's okay. Like, I could use it in my house. It's fine. But you still have all of this. So I would clean this out. We'll use it in the house. It's no big deal. It's not the end of the world. This is slicing the top off. As you can see, there's none of that. And then you don't have, I mean, this is as smooth as it's going to get. There is nothing. And what you do have is you have a slight gap from a glue, your glue marking, right? But you just glue it together. You could clamp it down. You could probably use like a PLA glue and get even better adhesion if you wanted to. Again, we're going to use this in the house, so it's not as big of a deal. Or I'll give one, to my mom or something like that. No big deal. But that's how you can improve your prints super easily. You can increase the quality, decrease the print time, and decrease the waste from the supports that have to print. Just like that. Hope this helps some of you. Thanks.